The first light of dawn crept over the Arizona desert, painting the cliffs and dusty plains with a soft, golden glow as Thomas Hale rode along the southern edge of his ranch. He was a man shaped by years of hardship and silence. Burdened by the grief of losing his wife 3 years earlier, life had carved deep lines into his weathered face. But on this morning, something different lingered in his chest, a strange sense of purpose. Behind him rode an Apache family he had come to know over the past weeks. Coda, a mother with gentle strength in her tired eyes, Nantan, her quiet, determined husband, and little Tocho, no more than 6, clinging to the saddle and staring curiously at the world around him. Thomas had discovered them after a storm had nearly swept their meager shelter away. Their hunger, their endurance, and above all their dignity had stirred something deep inside him, something he thought he had lost when he buried his wife. Their silent suffering had haunted him for days, until the night when he finally made a choice that would alter all of their lives. He had walked up to their makeshift camp, kneeling beside their fire, and offered them something no one else in the territory would have dared: land. A place to live. A home that could not be taken from them. As they reached the creek on his property, Nantan slid off his horse and knelt, pressing his palm to the earth with reverence. Coda's eyes shimmered with tears she tried to hide, while Tocho's joyous splashing in the water warmed Thomas's heart. Together they began building their shelter. Tocho followed Thomas everywhere, handing him small sticks, mimicking every hammer swing, offering shy smiles that slowly pried open the locked doors of Thomas's heart. When the sun finally set in brilliant streaks of pink and orange, they shared a meal around a fire. Thomas told stories of his childhood and the ranch he built with his wife. Nantan shared the history of his people and the hardships they had survived. Though their words came from different worlds, their hearts understood each other. That night, as Thomas walked back to his cabin, he saw something strange in the distance. Faint campfire lights scattered. Across the horizon, too many to be travelers, too many to ignore. A ripple of unease washed over him. Something was coming, and when dawn touched the desert again, Thomas stepped outside and froze. The earth trembled beneath the thunder of hooves. An entire Apache tribe, men, women, elders, children, was riding toward his ranch in a massive, silent procession. At the front rode their chief, tall and commanding in a magnificent eagle feather headdress. Their arrival was not loud. It was not angry. It was something far deeper, something ceremonial. Thomas didn't run. He didn't hide. He simply put on his hat and walked straight toward them. When the chief reached him, he studied Thomas with eyes sharp as obsidian, yet carrying a depth that spoke of loss, wisdom, and caution. "You welcomed our family," he said. Nantan, Coda, and Tocho stepped out from their new shelter, tears flowing freely as they embraced their people. The chief explained that the family had been separated during a military raid. They believed them dead or scattered forever. News had reached the tribe. A white rancher had not only sheltered them, but given them land freely offered, asking for nothing in return. The chief lowered his head slightly. "Such a thing is not done in these parts," he said. "You acted not with words, but with honor." Then something extraordinary happened. The chief lifted his staff and the entire tribe dismounted in perfect unity. Nantan approached Thomas holding a sacred woven blanket, decorated with symbols of protection and sunrise. He draped it over Thomas's shoulders with reverence. The chief spoke loudly so all could hear. "Today, Thomas Hale, you are a brother of the people." The tribe murmured in approval, but before the moment could settle, another rumble echoed across the desert, this time from the north. Cavalry, soldiers, rifles gleamed in the sunlight. The Apache warriors tensed instantly, hands gripping weapons. A battle was seconds from erupting. Thomas's gut twisted. He could not allow bloodshed to stain the very land he had just set right. Without hesitation, he mounted one of the Apache horses and rode toward the soldiers, shouting for them to stop. The captain paused, confused. Thomas explained everything: the land, the family, the peaceful reunion, and the tribe's intentions. After a tense silence, the captain ordered his men to lower their guns. "We'll report this as peaceful," he said. "Keep it that way." When Thomas returned to the tribe, he was greeted with cheers. The chief placed a hand on his shoulder. "You protected us with truth," he said. "That is a warrior's greatest weapon." That night, the tribe held a celebration. Drums echoed across the plains. Dancers moved around the fire, and children laughed under the starlit sky. Thomas sat beside the fire, the sacred blanket still on his shoulders, watching Tocho play with other children, free, safe, joyful. The chief raised a ceremonial pipe and declared, "Tonight you no longer sit as a stranger, tonight you sit as family." And as the fire crackled, warming his face and washing away years of grief, Thomas felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: belonging. The land that once felt empty now overflowed with life, unity, and hope. The tribe had come not for war, not for fear, but to honor a simple act of kindness that had rippled into something far greater. And Thomas knew, deep in his soul, that his life would never again be the same. If you love this emotional and powerful Western story, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more inspiring stories full of courage, humanity, and unforgettable moments. Subscribe now. Your next great story is just a click away.